Hey guys, welcome to lesson 4 where we are going to add the final details to the modeling part and we are going to prepare the color to work with it later in KeyShot. So let's get started by creating a kind of poncho, which is the only element missing. To do so we are going to work with the trunk. So activate the polygon mode and we're going to select this area over here and also the upper area of the back. And then finally this area over here. And now we're going to do something similar to what we did before. Let's select this sphere and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl C and Ctrl V. And here it goes. Now let's hide the previous one, and with a new object, we're going to click on disconnect. So right click and press disconnect. Then go to rectangle selection and select the area and then remove it. Like that. Perfect. After that, we're going to add to the recently created object the label cloth surface and then insert the object inside this label. Then, to add volume, click on cloth surface label and increase the thickness to 3 or 4, for example. Okay? Let's make it editable and put the object outside the cloth surface to delete this hierarchy since we don't need it anymore. Let's make the body visible again. Select the object we just created and move it down, more or less here. Okay? Like that. Once it's placed on the shoulder, or kind of, we're going to add a subdivision surface to it. So we just need to adjust it, for example by stretching it sidewards until it also covers the arms. Another way to do it is selecting the sculpting option on the upper right corner. And once here, go to Objects and select the object we are working with. Then select the grab option and activate the symmetry. Guys, please notice that I've checked the x-axis. Now we can modify it in a way which is pretty similar to the procedure used in ZBrush. So go to to Settings, and there increase the size. We can start now adjusting it to the body so that it seems like a poncho which she wears over her shoulders. I think it's fine like that, so we don't need to change anything else. So now let's see what we've done until now. In this case, we've increased the number of subdivisions of the sphere corresponding to the head. Notice, guys, that we increased the number of subdivisions. It was 25 and now it's at 40. As we want a higher definition, we need a higher number of segments, so that's why we need 40. Also, if you remember, we moved the arms closer to the body. And regarding this area over here, we've stretched it a little bit because it was too close. And we did it in order to make visible the piece of clothing under the jacket. Let's work now with this area over here, for instance, and to make it bigger. We can also move it outwards. Don't forget the necklace, and also move it outwards. Like that. Perfect. Okay, let's duplicate one of these elements by pressing Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then move it outside of the model for the moment. Then go to Subdivision Surface, and then make it smaller, so that we can place it behind these other objects on the head in order to add details to the model. Okay, another one here, another here. Okay, let's rotate it. Another one here. Okay, with this to select it, we are going to press on group objects and then we are going to do a symmetry. Then insert the group object inside the symmetry and then we have the same objects on the other side. Well, as you can notice, we've also moved the head a little bit down and now we just need to adjust it properly so that it doesn't go through the body. So let's make it smaller, okay? So that's all. We've finished with the modeling. Yoo-hoo! The next step, as I said before, will be differentiating each area by adding a provisional color and afterwards, with KeyShot, add the new and final materials to these base colors. The step thus is to pave the way and is the work to color later on. So select the standard layout and let's start creating materials. Remember that for the moment, colors are not a big deal, so don't worry too much about it. For example, let's select this color for the skin and color all the areas where skin is supposed to be, like the head, the ears. For the hands and the neck, what we are going to do is a polygon selection. What? How are we going to do this? Very easy. Start by selecting one arm. In this case, I've selected the one with the symmetry. Then click Leave Selection and select the entire hand. Okay. Now click on the material and drag it to the hand. As you can see, this little triangle over here will appear automatically, and it's related to the material. Let's do the same for the neck. Select the object of the trunk and activate the polygon mode. Then, with Leave Selection, select this area over here and add the material inside it. Let's move on the jacket. We need to create another material and select a color, for example, this one. Then select this area. That's it, both polygons. And also the area around the neck. Then add the material to the selected area. You'll notice that another triangle appears here. Now we're going to color the rest of the jacket. How? Again, create a new material, select color and add it. Oops! It's been applied to the whole object. It's very easy to solve this. We only need to change the order of the elements and put the material at the beginning. See what happens. Now the color is where we want it to be. Let's create another material and select any color, this one for instance. And then we add it to the skirt. It is boring, right guys? So to make it more colorful, we are going to add different materials. So go to Loop Selection, click on the skirt and add a different material to this section in the middle. White for instance. Great. Now we are talking, right? Okay, what else? Yeah, the sleeves. In this case, we are going to use the same color than for the jacket. So, select the sleeves and add material. Okay. Don't forget to put it at the beginning so that the rest of materials don't disappear. Okay, let's add this material here. Perfect. And now we're going to duplicate this material by pressing Ctrl and choose a lighter tone for the mouth. Now we need to create a black material, which we are going to use for the hair and the eyebrows. Let's do the same for the rest of the objects. For instance, we can choose a yellow material for the earrings. But guys, don't forget that this is only for differentiating the areas and that we'll improve it later. Guys, if you double click on here, you'll create another material and it's an easier way to do it. Okay, check that all the elements are colored in different colors and there's nothing missing. What we are going to do now is exporting the model. To do so, go to File and click on Export. Then select the format FBX. Guys, this is very, very important. So select it and save it, for example, in the desktop. Guys, this window is very, very important as well, so pay attention. We need to make sure that the SDS subdivision and the triangle geometry options are checked. Then press OK. Well, it's time to open KeyShot. Here we have to click on Import Model and select the model we've just created. So click here again in Import and that's it. As you can see, this way, KeyShot keeps the materials or the colors we've created in Cinema 4D. This is not that important for the moment because what we want now is differentiating the elements and then add the materials later on in KeyShot. One of the advantages of KeyShot is that geometry is updated. What does it mean? Have a look at this image. Let's say that we find these elements are too high. So we can go back to Cinema 4D and change them. In this case, I'm going to move them down and save again the file with a FBX format, as we did before. So replace the previous file. OK. And if we go again to KeyShot and import again the file, we'll be asked if we want to add new geometry or if we want to update it. In this case, we'll check the last option, import. What happens? That we have the same model but with the changes we just introduced. This is very useful, for example, if we want to modify something or we spot a mistake or something like that. We just can go back to Cinema 4D, make the changes and update. Having reached this point, it's essential to start designing the color palette we want to use. I'll send you this color palette you see here in this window, which is the one I'm going to use to color the elements. This doesn't mean that we have to use exactly these colors. We could select one of them and select another tone in the color picker, lighter or darker, as we prefer, but always within the range of color we selected. This is very important. So, as I said, I'm going to use these 8 colors. To ease the work, we could display this color palette in a second screen. However, if you're working only with a single screen, you can note down the codes of each color, which are these you see here. These are the RGB codes of each color, and it will help us to select the exact color. So guys, in the next lesson we are going to add color and I'll be explaining to you how this software works. So see you right now.